Hi, this is Josh from the BANTING Dad, and today I'm going to be interviewing my father, Lionel Rudder, who's been on the Banting eating plan for quite some time. So I'm going to start off by asking some questions. I've already said you're Lionel Rudder. Um, how long have you been doing Banting?
About 6 months,
Yes.
and it's been a very good experience from day one right up until now.
And how did you get onto the Banting eating plan? What was your motivation to do that?
Well, about a year ago, I became intolerant to wheat and decided I would cut it out of my diet, and I became very ill for 2 weeks, totally nauseated and unable to um, enjoy daily life, as it were, and slowly weaned myself off bread, but I still had that craving for the smell of toast and getting my teeth and into the bread and the butter.
Yeah.
So that was the start of it. And then I eventually, after 6 months, gravitated back to about one slice of toast a day, and it wasn't helping me. Of course, being a type 2 diabetic, all of these dietary things affect your daily blood sugar levels. So things were really getting tough in trying to control the figures, as it were, for blood sugar readings. Finding some stuff that diets said you could eat as a diabetic, I found that I couldn't eat them. They created blood sugar highs for me. So I had to watch out what I was eating, even though it was meant to be tolerable or usable as a diabetic. So I decided to go back to my doctor for checking, and to see whether I needed or would have to go on insulin to keep the blood sugar levels low. And then he said to me, you are not a insulin candidate. One of my patients has just a month ago come off insulin by going on to the Banting's regime, and he says, I want you to go on it for at least 3 months before we will take readings again, and after that I will tell you whether you need to have insulin or not.
And what is the results been? You said you're now about 6 months down the line.
Well, the results have been that blood tests taken when I went to him for an opinion again, and the checkup was that the average figures were 14.7 according to the blood analysis, which was very high. And after being on Bantings for 3 months and doing a new set of blood tests, the figures by percentage were below 7%. And he said to me, whatever you're doing on Bantings, you must continue to do it because you are doing very well. And for me, it's an absolute scream and an absolute joy to be able to eat what I couldn't eat on a type 2 diabetic diet and still not have any victory over the figures. I now have victory over the figures and a very good bill of health from my practitioner.
So not only having type 2 diabetes and having such a turnaround in your health with eating the Banting dietary eating plan, about 3 years ago you survived a heart attack. And how has this eating lifestyle supported the process from your doctor's view on your heart medication, and what is his feeling on it?
Well, he's not a cardiologist, but in complaining to him about a condition of maybe feeling a bit exhausted at times, he checked all the arteries in the vascular system, the back of the legs, the feet, the groin, obviously the arms and the neck, and he said, you have excellent pulses in all of those. So I must say that Banting's proves to be the superior way of dealing with certain problems, and it's totally enjoyable, because that which I was not eating, I now can eat, and I stick to the green, the orange, and the plan of none of those carbs in my life. So I adhere to that and enjoy it very much.
Okay, so to wrap up, if you had to give yourself a rating on a scale of 1 to 10 in quality and satisfaction of life before the Banting plan, what type of rating would you give yourself?
I would give myself a rating, or a low rating, in that sense of a 4, which would be stomped on, as it were, by frustration in not knowing whether a fresh vegetable was actually going to cause me having a sugar high instead of having a low.
Yeah.
With Banting's, this is not the case.
And how would you rate yourself now, being on this for 6 months? Firsthand, from what I've seen, there's been a major improvement in your health and well-being. How would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 now compared to when you started?
I would rate myself on an 8, and I would say that for me to go up a point, it's a matter of knowledge in working out what the Banting preference is, and whether that Banting preference really works with me. And if it doesn't, by checking blood sugar level, I just exclude it from my nutrition input.
Great. So there you have it. There's some first-hand life experience from someone who has incorporated Banting into their lifestyle with real life problems, and how the improvement of quality of life has been on his health and well-being, and the effects are only positive. And so I just want to encourage you to stick to your Banting plan if you're on it. Don't cheat yourself or rob yourself of getting the outcome of the result at the end of the day. And I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Thanks. Wait, bye.